talking to my son about just trades, plumbers, electricians, blah, blah, blah. And I said, man, even elevator mechanics, those guys, they're a dying breed. They make money. Because I was also talking about appraisers. We don't have enough of them. We need blah, blah, blah. So he said, hey, Dad, did you hear about the elevator? He thought it was the elevator mechanic. And I was like, no, at Tesla? I was like, no, I didn't hear about him. So we pull up this story, dude. So this guy apparently worked as an elevator operator. And I imagine, he's got a little worker suit on. What floor? Boom. He sits in an elevator, lets you know what floor you go on, greets you, have a nice day, whatever.
Oh, like at the bougie place.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
So this dude endured people calling him the N-word, having races. He worked as a operator in 2015, I think it was. And I was thinking it was like a long time ago, telling him to go back to Africa. Man, it just ridiculous stuff that happened in this building that apparently was reported and nobody ever did anything about it. No one did anything about it. It got to the point to where he said he was suffering sleepless nights because they were literally bullying this guy into, as he was working. He was just working the elevator. And this thing went to court. And the jury awarded him $130 million in punitive damages and $6.9 million in emotional distress. $137 million for being called the N-word and go back to Africa.
Yo, I got a question for you,
and working
James.
for years.
Would you be cool with that happening to you for $137 million?
Would I be cool?
Or would you not?
I would say, you know what? I'll take my money. $137 million.
I want to know how they come to 137
million. That's the thing. It's a jury, so they can come up with whatever number they want to come up with. They probably look at Tesla, billion dollar company, billionaire owner. This guy dealt with this crap for however long he dealt with it.
It's obviously not right to do, but how do you come up with
it's
137
It's egregious. And quite frankly, $130 million to Elon Musk is, it's a lot of money, but
it's like $50.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll get it back. But I don't know, man. It didn't make any sense on how they were doing, and supposedly they knew that it's not a perfect working environment. We know that it's not perfect, but we've come a long ways from 5 years ago. It's like, really, what were y'all doing 5 years ago? If this guy's dealing with this now, what is it that you're dealing with now that you don't have some diversity or some kind of inclusion or some kind of training or something for these folks?
I guess now he can take the title of the highest paid elevator.
Well, of 137, if I threw my calculations, he might get 40 million of that money. So, but 40 million,
who gets the rest? The attorneys?
Attorneys get it. You got to pay taxes.
The state of California.
Right? Yeah, you got to pay your taxes, man. So, 40 million bucks, he can retire. And
I'm just curious, do you have some tech bros that are down getting coffee in the lobby, and then they're on the way up to the third floor, and they're go back to Africa?
Right.
What happened? What happened in between?
Exactly.
I find it, not that I'm saying I don't believe him, but I mean, honestly, the environment that we have here, and just a small little company and companies that I've worked with, I mean, I just can't see that happening definitely in our culture.
Right.
And I would be so disgusted if anything happened like that in our culture.
Well, here's what I think was also a contributing factor. This is not the first lawsuit of this type against Tesla.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So apparently they were ordered to pay another guy. He got $1 million just back in August. So I'm assuming that when the prosecution were going at it, they said, listen, this is a behavior that they've accepted. This is just kind of the environment. So now we need to hit him in the pocket for sure. They gave this guy $1 million. We're gonna give this one $137 million.
I mean, it's disgusting if that's going on in a business environment.
Yeah.
Now,
it really
go ahead,
is.
James.
Yeah, I was gonna say that guy. He said the Barry guy that got the $1 million in August. He resigned after all of this stuff happened to him back in 2015 as well. And he said supervisors were calling him the N-word, and that there was like racist graffiti all over the place that he saw. It's like, sheesh. And the newer guy, Mr. Diaz, Owen Diaz, he says, and this was a little disappointing. He said that Elon Musk never acknowledged it, never, even had a letter drafted to say, hey, sorry for blah, 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 or nothing. Never reached out to him. Nothing at all. So I was like,
So is that a personal problem on his end?
For the guy?
Yeah, or is it something that was ever brought?
Well, you just think, even if it was a form letter, you would think that the guy would get some
fake
kind
signature on it.
Something,
Yeah.
exactly. Something to say, hey, man, I'm sorry for
At least
acknowledging the fact
What
that
about the
this
communication
happened.
systems within the company?
Yeah.
I mean, is it something that, his staff tried to hide, or
I don't know.
the building manager tried to hide, or
Who knows, man? It's unfortunate.
because all he knows is now that he's costing Elon Musk, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of money.
A lot of money.
So imagine you're going to work and you're an elevator dude and you're getting told to go back to Africa, all this other racist BS, and then you have your CEO of your company posting shit on Twitter like this. Like, I would be so mad. Just posting memes all the time, and you're here at work getting rammed just because of your race, and your CEO is off doing whatever, just laughing at memes and stuff when you're getting marginalized in your workplace. So
That's unfortunate.
that's all he does. I guarantee you will never meet someone who hates Elon Musk more than me. So this is the wrong guy to be talking.
So you're
about.
glad it should have been double, huh, Jack?
Yeah, no, I should have been. Yeah.
Give him 270 million. But yeah, $40 million to the guy. I say, man, if you're being racist to someone just cause, back to your point, it's like, what the heck happened to get to that point? But you deserve to pay some money out of your pocket.
Yeah. And instead of paying these fines, these 2 fines for $100+ million, why don't you just hire some HR dude for like a couple $100,000 to deal with things like this?
Deal with this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
You got to do something. And I shoot. But it was interesting seeing that. My son told me about it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh.